Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. I was never the loudest man in the room. I didn't wear designer suits or flash luxury cars. I never felt the need to throw money around to impress anyone. My strength lived in quieter places. In how I listened, in the details I remembered, in the loyalty I gave without hesitation. That was who I was. And when I met Serena, I honestly believed I had finally found someone who could appreciate that. It happened on a completely ordinary afternoon, in the most unexpected place. A bookstore. She dropped a copy of The Art of War while balancing a stack of books, and I grabbed it before it hit the ground. She smirked and said something like, "Guess I'll need this to deal with people like you." She laughed, not cruelly but with this spark that caught me off guard. We started talking, and for the first time in a long while, I felt like someone actually saw me. Serena was nothing like me. She was sharp, witty, effortlessly confident. People gravitated toward her while I was the quiet one, observant, a bit awkward, keeping to the edges. But she once told me my quietness made her feel calm, even charmed her. And that was enough to make me believe I had found something real. The early days were simple and sincere. She texted first. She called out of nowhere just to say she missed me. She told me she felt safe with me, that she trusted me in ways she never had before. I held on to that. Maybe too tightly. I showed up whenever she needed me, supported her dreams even as mine slowly slipped out of reach. I remembered the tiny things she mentioned, celebrated her victories, and took on her worries as if they were my own. I thought that was what love was supposed to be. But then, slowly things shifted. Not in a dramatic, explosive way, just small cracks spreading with time. I first noticed it when we were around her friends. There was a dinner where I'd forgotten my wallet. I laughed it off, ready to cover the bill next time. But she leaned in and joked, "He's broke, but he means well." Everyone laughed. I forced a smile even though my stomach tightened. I told myself it was harmless, but the jokes kept coming. The way I mispronounced a French word. The mismatched socks I wore to her company brunch. Little stories she told for laughs with me as the punchline. And every time, I smiled and nodded as if it didn't bother me. But deep down, I wondered if I was slowly losing her respect. The final breaking point came at her best friend Tanya's birthday party. The place was loud. Music thumping, glasses clinking, the usual chaos. Serena had been drinking more than usual. Someone asked, "So, is this the guy?" Meaning me. Meaning the man she was serious about. She smirked, took a sip of wine, and said casually, "Oh, he's not the guy. He's just the placeholder until the real one shows up." People laughed. The room spun. I stared at her, hoping she'd say she was kidding, blaming the alcohol, anything. But there was no correction, no apology. Just that same smirk. My chest felt heavy, but I didn't make a scene. I didn't ask questions. I didn't cry or raise my voice. I simply nodded, smiled politely, and walked out. That night was different. I didn't call. I didn't text. I didn't block her. I just stopped. Stopped chasing. Stopped begging for respect. Stopped caring. For the first time in more than a year, I chose myself. The next morning she texted, "Where did you go?" Then, "Are you mad?" "You know I was just joking." "Don't be dramatic." I stayed silent. 2 days later, I had 12 missed calls, voice messages full of excuses and weak apologies. She even showed up at my apartment, knocking, pacing, shifting from irritation to confusion to panic. I didn't open the door. I watched from the window, and for once, I didn't feel the urge to fix anything. A week later, her tone completely changed. No jokes. No brushing it off. The messages became desperate. "I miss you. Can we talk? I messed up. Please answer. You were always too good for me." I didn't realize it until now. But by then, something inside me had already changed. It wasn't just about the jokes or the humiliation. It was about the painful truth that I had stayed with someone who chipped away at me piece by piece, and I let her. Realizing that hurt more than anything she ever said. So I moved on quietly. I started working out again. Read more books. Reconnected with friends I had drifted from. I rebuilt myself, slowly and intentionally, not to prove anything, not to win her back, but because I finally remembered that I mattered. I stopped wondering if I had been enough for her. Because I finally saw clearly. She had never been enough for someone like me. Months later, fate crossed our paths again. I was reading at a cafe when she walked in. She froze when she saw me. For a moment, I saw something in her eyes, surprise, maybe even hope. "Wow," she whispered. "You look different." I smiled, calm and unbothered. "I feel different." She tried to joke, to steer the conversation back to how things used to be. But I didn't bend this time. I didn't flinch. I didn't let her words cling to me like they once did. I finished my coffee, stood up, and simply said, "Take care, Serena." I walked out without looking back. I didn't need to. Some people don't understand the weight of their actions until silence answers them louder than words ever could. She thought I would always be there, no matter how many times she chipped away at my dignity. But the day I chose myself, everything changed. Not out of revenge. Not to make her hurt. But because I finally remembered my worth. Sometimes the greatest power move isn't arguing, begging, or proving anything. It's walking away quietly and letting your absence speak the truth. And in that silence, Serena finally heard everything she had ignored all along. Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers.